This is college football prime time, presented by Subway. Fayetteville, Arkansas is ready to roar. An old rivalry renewed. Texas is in town. These fans are calling the Hogs. It is a constant theme here all weekend long. Beat Texas. 15th ranked Horns are here. Former conference rivals, soon to be SEC rivals, as the Hogs are making their way out to their fateful Razorback Stadium. Steve Sarkisian's Horns. This is what they got to get used to. Down the road, this will be a conference game. For now, it's a great rivalry coming back, non-conference style. Been some choppy waters in recent years for the Razorbacks, but now they feel they are on the rise as they run through the A. A sold-out Razorback Stadium for this big one on a Saturday night. Glad you're with us, everybody. Joe Tessitore, as always, alongside Greg McElroy. Texas now ranked number 15. It is year one, week 2 under Steve Sarkisian. Last week, they opened up with a top 25 clash against Louisiana. They look good. They win that game. Sark told us yesterday, he said, listen, I know exactly what taking this job is all about. Greg, it's not a rebuild. They've got talents on this roster. They are ready to win now, ready to compete at the next level.
Trying to be more consistent, offensively and defensively. And last week, a 4-quarter performance where there were some fixable mistakes, for sure. It wasn't flawless, but that's the type of performance we've come to expect from a Steve Sarkisian coach team. Whether it was at Alabama or previous stops, he knows how to get the most out of his guys.
Listen, in the history of college football, some of the greatest running backs of all time have worn burnt orange. They may have the next one, the emerging star, Bijan Robinson.
He is special, man. Worth the price of admission. He's so versatile. But what I love most is he's so strong. He never goes down, almost ever, on first contact. And then how about this part of his game that's really blossoming here in year number 2, being a huge feature from the slot in the passing game. He's one of the best backs in college football. And Steve Sarkisian, it's high praise. But he said, when asked, Coach, who does he remind you of? He said he might be the number 5, but he's got a little Reggie Bush in him.
Wow. We will see what he looks like tonight on the road in this spot. Hey, these two schools first played ball against each other back in 1894. They've decided national championships on the field against each other. Forever linked by the coaches Royal and Broyles. They've had legends walk the sideline. Memory-making performances across the white line. Delivering amazing upsets, and as the years went on, the heat has never simmered down. Hogs and Horns on a Saturday night.
Little Caesars are crazy calzone, Julienne pepperoni. It's so tasty. I like white sauce. Here comes the bite. Here comes the...
Yummy!
Was I dreaming about the crazy calzone again?
You also said some weird things about giraffes.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars, the new crazy...
From here in Fayetteville, you're watching the SEC on ESPN. Texas won the toss. They elect to defer. So we will see what the Razorbacks offense looks like right away. 79th all-time meeting between these former Southwest Conference rivals as Dicker kicks away, and we will get a chance to see K.J. Jefferson, his first year as a starting quarterback. Katie George proudly considers himself a country boy from a small town in Mississippi.
Yeah, he does. Sam Pittman said most teams make their biggest adjustments from week 1 to week 2 because coaches realize, hey, maybe we didn't have the best combinations out on the field. Well, that's not the case for Arkansas. Pittman said he had the right guys in the right spots a week ago, and that included his starting quarterback. He is all in on K.J. Jefferson. Now, they know he has some nerves right now. Pittman says the quickest way for him to settle in and gain confidence, let him do what he does best, run the football.
And last week he did that, Greg. 89 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in the win against Rice. That was the man in motion, Burks, who was hit with the snap, and the flag came in.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense on the left guard, 5-yard penalty, it's first down. Please set.
Brandon Cruse is our referee tonight.
Let's take a look tonight. Chick-fil-A impact players. This is Traylon Burks and Traylon Smith there for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Burks, not a great day last week, one of the best wide receivers in the SEC. And then defensively for the Texas Longhorns, Coburn, the big body in the middle, and then Overshown, who's going to have to do a great job running sideline to sideline with some of the speeds that Arkansas have on the field.
And Coburn, big number 99 for the Horns, 346 pounds clogging things up. Smith trying to get free, and you see exactly what we talk about. You clog things up, and it lets the linebackers run free, and that was Overshown with the tackle.
And that was a great job right here. I mean, watch this right here. Look at him throw the left guard, Latham. Just tosses him in the back, allows those linebackers to close.
2nd and 27. That was a loss of 2. Here's Burks trying to get to the outside, and very good pursuit to take him out of bounds. Thompson with the tackle. Traylon Burks, first team preseason All-SEC, but he's dealing with injuries. Was in a walking boot for 12 of the last 14 practices before week 1.
It was clear he was not himself. So clearly Kendall Browse, the offensive coordinator for Arkansas, trying to get him involved in the game plan early.
3rd and 14. A.J. Jefferson, quarterback for Arkansas, has time. He's going to check underneath to Smith, and Smith is going to be about 3 yards short of that line to gain. The cornerback, Deshaun Jamison, cut him down.
A great job there by Texas's defense, forcing the 3 and out. Had a mistake by Arkansas on the illegal snap on first down, getting behind the sticks and off schedule, but a good job of pursuit there by the Longhorns. Their coach Pete Kwiatkowski, the outstanding defensive coordinator. These guys will try to keep it in front of them. Don't want to give up many big plays to this Arkansas offense.
Hunter Reed Bauer better be directional, because Deshaun Jamison is a great return. And he is outside the numbers and out of bounds. All right, we got the redshirt freshman making his 2nd start of his Texas career. Katie, Hudson Card.
Well, last week, Card impressed his teammates and coaches, guys, not only with his execution, but in the way he handled himself on the field. Bijan Robinson said he looked like a vet out there. He was comfortable and in control at all times. Now, it's one thing to do it in front of your home crowd. It's another to do it on the road in what will be the most hostile environment Card has experienced at the college level. He says he's excited and ready for his first Saturday night in the SEC.
Hear that roar. What a Saturday night under the lights in the SEC sounds like. Robinson off right tackle, and he is met and driven back. That is Hayden Henry, the linebacker, who gets the start tonight because Bumper Poole, yes, Bumper Poole, the starting linebacker, had a targeting penalty, and that has him out of the first half this week.
And he's going to have a tall order now. Those linebackers are asked to do a lot within this Arkansas defense. This running back they're facing have to be very good tacklers in the open field.
Tackled for a loss. Fouché coming up from that safety spot, voted one of the team captains this year. This is the one thing that the Hogs can do. They can play some defense. Barry Odom's the defensive coordinator, former Mizzou head coach. 3rd and 11. Three-man rush, dropping 8. Card looking for something. Now he's going to tuck, and he's going to be taken down, and Texas is going to be punting. A 3 and out for Hudson Card and the Longhorns.
What a great job there by Arkansas's defense. Forcing the negative play on 2nd down of Bijan Robinson. Then dropping back, keeping everything in front. And as soon as Card exited the pocket, they stayed true to their coverage. Rallied up to make the tackle as he crossed the line of scrimmage. Just outstanding fundamental defense by both the Longhorns and the Razorbacks in each of their first 2 possessions.
Cameron Dicker onto punt. He has all 3 specialist jobs. for the Longhorns. Special teams coordinator Jeff Banks tries to make a good point of resting that leg during the week. He booms this one inside the 10. What a punt! It's muffed! It is muffed! And Texas has it! First and goal, Longhorns. Keaton Crawford on special teams, downfield to recover it. Tremendous punt by Dicker. Great special teams coverage, and they come up with the turnover.
And Brooks, it just drifts a little breezy. Oh, and wow, was the right toe out of bounds as he touched the football? Let's take a look. Right foot out of bounds.
Let's bring in our three-time Super Bowl referee, John Perry. John, what do you see?
Greg, you're on fire tonight. Right off the bat, we get a muffed kick. And like you, I think that right toe is touching a loose ball, which will put it out of bounds right there.
Yeah, and that's a tough break for Texas. It was such a great play there. Just ran out of room, and Brooks losing track of the football as it drifted a little bit to his left. But there it is. Toes on the line, touches the football there. Looks pretty clear to me, guys, that this ball is going to be given to the Razorbacks at the 4-yard line. What a crazy turn of events there here.
After reviewing the play, when the Texas player who stepped out of bounds first before he touched the ball, by rule, this is a loose ball around. The ball will be placed at the 4-yard line. It's first down, Arkansas.
A game of inches. How about a game of just a big toe? It goes from first and goal Texas to Arkansas football.
What a roller coaster there. All right, here, backed up operation. Now you have a young quarterback, hasn't started a whole lot. So what you're thinking and you're reminding, you want to go with a hard count. Hard count no matter what, because even if you jump off sides, you lose 2. But if they jump off sides, you gain 5 because of the offside. So I think hard count coming out here. Remind all your guys, sit in there. I'm going to try to draw them off sides and maybe get a free play out of it.
So Jefferson 2 yards into his own end zone. Takes the pitch, and then he is wrapped up for a loss of 1. That was Luke Brockermeyer, the former walk-on, who's now a tackling machine. Had 10 tackles last week in the middle of that Texas defense.
They're going to funnel everything to the middle of that defense, where the sure-handed Brockermeyer will likely make the play.
2nd and 11. Smith! Good gash play by Traylon Smith. We talked to some of these defensive players this week here at Arkansas. They say Traylon is like trying to tackle water. First down of the game for either team. 16 yards there. And now quickly, he goes to his tight end, who is upended. That was Blake Kern as the target, but Anthony Cook read it perfectly.
Great tackle there on the perimeter. An excellent run to get you out of the shadow of your own goalpost there. Sometimes these big body tight ends, I mean, you just got to attack the thigh boards, man. That's a great tackle there. The big fella didn't know what was coming.
Turn goes 265. KJ on 2nd down, quarterback run, but he's trying to find something. He finds nothing but a whole lot of horns. Wrapping him up right at the line of scrimmage. Pete Kwiatkowski is the new defensive coordinator here. He's doing a fine job early on with Texas.
Right there, KJ Jefferson on the quarterback draw. Got to be more decisive. It looked like he had a little bit of room there to create some positive yards. Not every play is going to be a touchdown, but man, go get what you can on 2nd and 10. Maybe make 3rd down a little more manageable. Instead, he danced and results in a much tougher 3rd down.
Speedy freshman A.J. Green is in the backfield with Jefferson. Kid ran a 10-3 in high school, and they get it to him out of the backfield. See if he can square those shoulders and hit the motor. And he is forced out. Looks like just maybe a yard short of that line to gain. That was Josh Thompson who got to Green.
Really close there, and a good effort there by Green. Man, early in this game, the offense begging to stay on the field, but yes, Sam Pittman wisely going to go with the punt.
From their own 28, they thought about it?
If I'm Texas, I'm going safe, though. I can tell you that much. Because you know Sam Pittman will roll the dice, that's for sure. I'm going safe punt. I'm not going to try to let a fake potentially fool me.
Bauer on to punt again to Deshaun Jameson. Jameson, 2 kickoff return touchdowns, 1 punt return touchdown in his great career. Sky ball, fair catch at the 25. Well, defenses have looked good early on here. Under the lights for the SEC in prime time, Texas and Arkansas.
AT&T 5G studio update. Another SEC team in action. Opening kickoff, Mississippi State against NC State. LeDetrick Griffin takes it all the way back for the touchdown. That's how that thing got started in Starkville right now. 7-0 Mississippi State over NC State. Joe Tess.
Bijan Robinson. Good run and spitting. Leg drive for 9 yards. Hudson Card, the quarterback. He is from Lake Travis High School, the famous Lake Travis High School when it comes to quarterbacks.
Oh, it's so good. Todd Reesing, of course, what a career he had at Kansas. One of the brightest days of Kansas football history. Garrett Gilbert had a pretty good career. A whole bunch of guys there.
Attacking the ball. Robinson is pushed back. Grant Morgan was the first to get there. Garrett Gilbert, Baker Mayfield.
Oh, yeah, that was the big one. He was coming next. Unfortunately, Texas caught us off guard with a little speedy. We'll take a look at those Lake Travis quarterbacks a little later. There've been a whole bunch of them, but man, a critical 3rd down here. And it's going to get loud in Razorback Stadium for the young freshman Hudson Card. See if he looks in the direction of Jordan Whittington, though. He was his go-to guy last week on 3rd down and medium distance.
He had 7 catches for 113 yards last week. 3rd and 4. Pressure up the middle, and Card goes down, and it's Grant Morgan again. The ultimate overachiever. Former walk-on who became a 2nd-team All-America and is a team captain.
Yeah, watch right here. He's going to fake out and then come back in, and that's exactly how he beats him inside. Look at him just swim right around. Gets the guard confused. The guard stays left. Bijan stays left, and there's no one home in the A gap for Grant Morgan. So athletic there at the 2nd level, man. He is so good, so instinctive, such a great player for the Hogs.
3rd tackle for loss for Arkansas. By the way, new return man after the muff punt. This is Bryce Stevens, the freshman. And he makes the first man miss, and the Hogs will be back on offense. When we come back to Razorback Stadium, what a fun night here with Texas and Arkansas back together again.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway and in part by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
It has been buzzing all weekend long. See Big Tusk come in, that proud Russian boar, the live mascot. And you know when it's, listen, this is the kind of stuff you see here. This is a Baptist church. We found this sign here in Fayetteville. Beat Texas everywhere you go. There's Tusk. We spent time with Tusk this morning.
Yes. He was not real happy to see us.
Well, I was feeding him some apples, and then it came the point where we were supposed to be live on TV with Tusk,
Correct.
And he just turned around, put his big butt right in our face, and said, I'm not eating any more apples from you.
Correct. He big leagued us on television. He must not watch Holy Moly.
No, not at all. Smith to the outside. That's where he's at his best if he can find space, and wrapped up at the 40-yard line. 2 drives for both teams. Texas 2 3-and-outs, 5 yards. Arkansas 1 first down, 35 yards. Look at this is the problem, Greg.
I mean, just absolutely will not acknowledge. I mean, the Hog, you would think he'd eat apples, grapes, you name it. It just never stops eating, right? No, not the case. Not our apples. He didn't like them apples.
2nd and 6. Smith again. Met at the line of scrimmage, and that was Brockermeyer with another tackle. It's Texas defensive front doing their job early on against Arkansas.
Yeah, very impressive Brockermeyer, man. He, of course, has stepped up. And within Pete Kwiatkowski's system, that middle linebacker has to be so sure of a tackler because he's going to get so many opportunities, man. He's lived up to it through the first 5 quarters of the season.
3rd and 6. Another run for Jefferson, and this time the big quarterback catches a seam. He's 6'3", 245, and when that freight train gets rolling, watch out.
Great job, too, by the left side of that offensive line, starting to collapse that Longhorn front.
And tempo now from the Hogs. Jefferson with time, gets it to the outside, should have been caught by Traylon Smith.
This is a little bit of a problem, man, because this Arkansas team last week, they have maybe as sure-handed a wide receiver as there is in college football in Burks. He had 2 drops. There you see Smith with a drop. There have been 3 or 4 drops already here in the first game and 10 minutes of the second game. So they got to clean it up with these wide receivers, leaving too many plays on the field.
First time they've been in Texas territory. Jefferson goes to the outside, able to get it complete to Warren Thompson. Kendall Briles is the new offensive coordinator. Came here after being at Florida State. Of course, was under his dad Art at Baylor for years. Second year for this staff. Was with Lane Kiffin at FIU. He got into the guys last week at halftime. Didn't like that first half performance against Rice. The message was simple: toughness. That's what Arkansas football is when they're at their best. They're tough, blue collar, play with a chip on their shoulder.
Got 2 downs to get it here potentially, especially going into the win.
36, Rocket Sanders. He gets a little extra drive as he pushes the pile to the 37-yard line. It'll be 4th and short there.
I think you go for it. I think you run your quarterback, man. He's the biggest, strongest runner you have. Get your quarterback on a quarterback power and see if he can push the pile.
Jefferson on 4th and 2. Got Rocket Sanders in the backfield with him. He pulls it to the outside, beats a man, has it, and a whole lot more. First down, Razorbacks. It was Brendan Schooler who had a shot at K.J. Jefferson, but Jefferson glided ahead for 14 yards.
Great read there by Jefferson as the end man on the line of scrimmage crashed. He had nothing but green grass. Excellent job on the zone read.
First down, catch, and more Burks. And that's what they will need tonight, is Treylon Burks at his best.
If I'm Arkansas, I'm going to ramp the tempo up right here. You got Texas defense on their heels, a couple guys along the defensive line, hands on your hips. I'm going to try to ramp up the tempo here. He's got Burks in one-on-one potentially here down in the slot.
First and goal. Quarterback run again, but this time they stayed true to it. That was Josh Thompson who read K.J. Jefferson right from the snap.
Great job there by the Texas defense. Winning on the right side of that offensive line and making the play in the backfield. Great job stopping the bleeding when they were clearly getting pushed back at the line of scrimmage.
10th play of the drive coming. Converted a 4th down to arrive at this. 2nd and goal. Blitz on, seeing if his defense can come on with a stop. Rocket Sanders trying to get to the outside, but he met up with Overshone. DeMarvion Overshone had 13 tackles last week against Louisiana.
That was a great job there. I mean, he's so quick. I mean, Overshone is so quick, man. And as soon as that ball breaks to the outside, it's advantage Overshone. He's just going to close faster than the running back, man. He can flat out get it. So great job there by the linebacker.
Safety most of his career, playing backer now. He can cover some ground. 3rd and goal.
Arkansas's got numbers down here, way down to the left. There's only 2 Texas defenders.
And taken down is Burks. They had the bunch to the numbers, and then he went to Burks in the slot. And they will bring on the field goal team.
Good stop there by Texas, forcing the field goal after what was a promising drive there for the Hogs.
Cam Little's a true freshman from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Made his first attempt last week, a 34-yarder. This from 24 yards. And Arkansas is on the board. They moved the ball 57 yards, converted a 4th down, and they have a 3-0 lead over Texas. State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State. We got some money to that fund right away here. Thanks to Cam Little, 3-0 Arkansas. Calvaruso will be kicking off. Jamison and Johnson back for the Horns. Steve Sarkisian said, hey, we know what's up playing in the SEC now on the road. After the big announcement this summer. So we're everybody's biggest game. The bullseye got a little bit bigger. Let's go back to that 3rd down, Greg.
Yeah, big opportunity missed here. You got numbers. I mean, you got one running back out here in the flat with 2 blockers out in front. I mean, it's a game of numbers, and KJ Jefferson instead decides to work the slot, who's one-on-one with guys coming out underneath him. If he would have just thrown it out to Smith in the flat, who knows? You got blockers out in front and a guy with the ball in his hands that can create with some space. It's just all about finding those advantages, and that's something he'll learn as he continues to grow within this offense.
Texas has 5 total yards to this point. Hudson Card, redshirt freshman, out of the pocket, being chased, extending the play, and then chopped down right near the sideline by Greg Brooks. Let's check in with the studio and Matt.
All right, Joe Tess, checking in on Iowa State. It has not been a good day for Breece Hall, the Cyclones offense. Here, a fumble at the 5. We get a scoop and score for Jack Campbell. All Hawkeyes at the sidelines.
Second and 9. Card. Off platform throw, and he gets it complete, and he does so to Xavier Worthy, Texas's first pass, and it goes to the freshman. Great from Fresno, California, and he's dynamic.
It's a great throw by Card, too, and an awesome job executing the scramble drill there by his wide receiver, Worthy. As soon as he drifted to his right, wide receiver's got to reverse course and stay in front of the quarterback. That's exactly what he did there. He uncovered, and Card found him for a really nice completion.
Under a minute to go here in the first quarter, and that's the first down for the Horns. Whittington in motion as Robinson gets the call, finds a crease, and somehow gets to the outside. And just like that, Bijan Robinson hits the accelerator, got the seal block from Whittington.
And look at the right side of that offensive line, just collapse it. And an excellent job by Bijan Robinson, being patient, pressing the hole, and then getting back to the outside.
And now Card, look at the time he has. Looking for anything and anybody, and then just hits the feet for a gain of about 5.
And this is what Steve Sarkisian wanted from his quarterback, man. Look, sometimes the defense wins. That was great coverage by the Razorbacks in the secondary. And this is what he wanted to see as they were going through the quarterback competition between Hudson Card and Casey Thompson. What separated Card in some ways was his athleticism and his willingness to allow the defense to win. Just make something out of nothing, set up second and manageable.
We hit zeros at the end of the first quarter. And finally, Texas has found a little something. Trying to get their gear on offense thanks to Robinson and Card. And they'll be on the march when we come back to start the second quarter. Watching the SEC on ESPN. Joe Tessitore alongside Greg McElroy and Katie George here in Fayetteville. 3-0 Arkansas to start the second quarter. Texas on the go here with 51 yards on this drive. They have 56 total yards, 51 of them on this drive. Second and 5. Empty set for Card. Looks right, and then is gobbled up and thrown down. John Ridgway, who wasn't able to play last week after an appendectomy, is back at 320 pounds. He just got on top of Hudson Card.
Man, that's so disappointing if you're the Texas Longhorns. This is a 3-man rush against 5 offensive linemen. 3 defenders, 5 blockers, and still results in a sack. That just can't happen for the Longhorns offense. Got to give credit, though, to Ridgway. He did a great job of shedding the center.
Jake Majors, the center. This is just the 2nd start of his college career. Redshirt freshman from Prosper. Here comes Robinson back into the backfield on 3rd and 10. Place is loud, isn't it? And the whistles rain in, and then a play went through. I don't know that the defensive line, Trey Williams, realized things had been stopped there. Dangerous to be taking down the quarterback like that when he's not expecting it.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
You see right there, and Williams doesn't hear the whistles. Ref comes in, tries to save it. And he's got to be more aware. If that happens again, it's late. It's going to result in a penalty. It's lucky it didn't there.
3rd and 15. Williams coming off the edge again. Card getting free. Look at this toss to the end zone. But Whittington couldn't come up with it as he tried his best. But Thompson, I'll tell you, or a Card, I'll tell you, on the run, he can gun it.
Oh, man, so close. What a great throw. But here's the thing. When you're running to your right and you're a right-handed quarterback, you think about how that ball spins coming off your right hand. It spins clockwise. So what does that force the ball to do? It's going to tail just a little bit to the right, and as a result, it drifts just a little off the mark. But, man, close play there for the Longhorns.
52-yard attempt for Cameron Dicker, one of the best kickers in the country. He's got a career long of 57. And Arkansas is going to use a timeout. And we're going to take a break. And Texas is going to try to tie this game up when we come back to Fayetteville.
Friends in Texas will check in on Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler to Eric Gray out of the backfield. This is going to be quick work for the Sooners tonight. Already 17-0 into the first.
Spencer Rattler with a couple of touchdowns for Oklahoma. Cameron Dicker with a 52-yard attempt for Texas. And it's wide right. You mentioned he hit the upright going this direction from this distance in pregame. Not the rotation he was looking for. Came underneath it just a little bit. Talented big leg kicker who does all 3 kicking jobs now. First Longhorns player since Justin Tucker. Great Justin Tucker to do that. Sam Pittman, head coach of Arkansas. One of the most likable head coaches in all of college football. He is in his 2nd year, 59-year-old, longtime offensive line coach all over college football. He's with Georgia for many of their great teams in recent years. Smith on first down. He gets free. Trayvon Smith crosses midfield for the Hogs. 32-yard run for Smith.
How about the left side of this offensive line? Look at this double team as he easily gets to the 2nd level. Cunningham locking up with that linebacker to break Smith free. Excellent job.
Jefferson quick to the outside. Thompson, he's a big-bodied receiver. Gave a little something extra to Dunn at the end of that play.
Right here, if I'm Kendall Briles, I'm thinking about taking a shot. I got a lot of momentum offensively. I want to go heavy play action, try to throw it over Texas's head. Even if you missed it, you still got 3rd and short.
2nd and 4. We're going to have the first down. Big tight end, Blake Kern. Former walk-on who's had a productive career. Building some confidence with K.J. Jefferson, the redshirt sophomore quarterback. Comes to the other side and gets it complete to Treylon Burks. 22 straight games with a catch for Treylon Burks.
Great job there by K.J. Jefferson, keeping his eyes downfield, throwing an accurate strike to Burks.
21-yard reception. First down at the 11-yard line. Jefferson. Burks again, and he cannot shake free. Jaron Thompson stayed with Burks. Burks a big receiver, 6'3", 225.
He's a special talent, enormous catch radius. Really disappointed in himself last week. Did not play well. Of course, you referenced it, Joe. Had a tough time in fall camp staying healthy. Didn't get the reps he needed, but man, he's looking more like himself here in week number 2.
Five catches and 5 targets tonight. Smartly picking it up is Johnson. And Johnson makes the most of it. Johnson fights his way to the 5-yard line. That snap was worm burning on the ground. And Johnson said, I will gladly take it. Quick to the line. As Burks is in the backfield. Treylon Burks, the star wide receiver, is lined up behind K.J. Jefferson. 3rd and 4. And they go underneath to Johnson. Johnson fighting for the goal line and finding it. Dominique Johnson, touchdown, Hogs.
Across the plane. Looks like he does. What a drive there by the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Johnson was buried on the depth chart at one point. In fact, he even moved to tight end at one point. But then in some practices, they had him at running back because some guys were out. He started playing really well, and they just kept him there. And he's turning into their short yardage specialist. Had a short yardage touchdown last week in the final minute to widen the margin of victory against Rice. And here he caps a 66-yard drive. And he does so with great desire and hunger. What do we say about Arkansas at their best when they're tough, when they're blue collar, when they out tough teams and play with a chip on your shoulder? Well, that shoulder just crossed the goal line, and the Razorbacks are up 10-zip on number 15 Texas.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
1969 was the game of the century. Famous photo of President Nixon, who took a helicopter to the game, by the way, that day, and declared Texas the national champs. They won 15-14. You know, it's so interesting that year. ABC, the programmers at ABC, actually moved that game. It's supposed to be in October. They said, hold on a second. This needs to be the regular season finale of what was then the historic 100th season of college football. And what a great move that was, because it's an all-time classic. Texas won it 15-14. On the return is Jamison. And Jamison trying to weave his way before he ran into his own man. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, keeping an eye on some of the teams trying to bounce back from week 1 losses. One of them, Sam Howell in North Carolina. Not going to be much drama for them tonight. Sam Howell keeps this one 22 yards to go up quickly, 7-0. Let's check in one more time. Sam Howell to Antoine Green, 22 yards of perfection. This one all Tar Heels early. Look at that grab, 14-0, 6:30 left in the first. Joe Tex.
Thank you, Matt. Back to business for Card and Robinson. Texas only has 51 total yards, Arkansas 158. Bijan spinning after the initial contact as he gets it out to the 22-yard line. Joe Fouché with the tackle.
I think that's how Texas is going to get back into this game a little bit. It's gotten a little sideways. The crowd very much into it. But you're only one drive away from making this obviously a field goal game. But the way they get down and make it a field goal game is by feeding number 5. He's got to get a heavy dose on this drive to help take the crowd out of it and to steal some of that momentum from the Hogs.
Had 24 touches last week for 176 yards from scrimmage. And he'll get it again, and he's tackled in the backfield. Henry was the first to get in there, and then it was cleaned up by Nichols. But Hayden Henry was shooting that gap, and then Nichols got the tackle.
Yeah, and a great job there by Henry. Nobody was there for him. He just saw the Red Sea depart. Man, he fired his gun. Stopped the momentum from Robinson. Excellent job by the linebacker. Critical third down here for the young Hudson Card.
5 TFLs now for the Razorbacks. 3rd and 6. I think the slot receiver took a little leap forward before the snap.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. It's 3rd down.
It is standing room only at Razorback Stadium. And there will be a lot of throat lozenges sold in Fayetteville tomorrow morning. Listen to this on 3rd and 11.
Student section to Hudson Card's right. The loudest part of the stadium is about 20 yards away from the freshman.
0-3 on 3rd downs. Card. Trying to extend, and right at the line of scrimmage, he sidearms it, looking for Whittington, and it's incomplete.
Dangerous there from Hudson Card as he was escaping to his left. It was well covered by the Hogs yet again. They have to find some rhythm to this passing game, because really the only positives from the passing game here in the first quarter and a half have been when Hudson Card has improvised and escaped the pocket. They got to find some stuff that gets the ball out of his hand and gets some of these receivers in open space with room to run.
3rd 3 and out for Texas. Dicker bobbles it, and then it's partially blocked. Arkansas recovers. Oh, it is all about the Hogs right now. Yurachek came in on Dicker and gets the block punt. Crawford was there to recover it. Those hands, critically important. And remember, Cameron Dicker, the longtime kicker and kickoff specialist, was asked this summer to manage all 3. To also be the starting punter. So a 4-yard punt. And now the 14-yard line. Served on a silver platter for Jefferson. And the offense. And Smith gets loose. A stiff arm, turns inside the 10 before he is ridden out.
How about this young fella? Traylon Smith at 185 pounds, but I'll tell you what, he doesn't play like it. How strong on the stiff arm with the left hand. Just an excellent run there by the outstanding sophomore back.
Jefferson to his tight end Kern, and he goes nowhere thanks to Josh Thompson. the corner from Texas. And Kendall Briles is going to dial up a 3rd and 3 here, trying to extend this lead.
Thing too, man, at this part of the field, do you have 2 downs to get it? I think you do. I mean, the offensive line's playing well, your quarterback's playing well, you're running the ball pretty efficiently. I think you got 2 downs to get it. You just force it right up there inside between the tackles.
Jefferson has completed his last 8 passes in a row. 3rd and 3, pressure off the edge to the end zone, and it'll be 4th down. Traylon Burks was floating along the back line of the end zone.
That was a great play defensively there in the 2nd level. It got tipped.
It did.
I think it was B.J. Foster that got a hand on it. Man, what a great play there by the safety.
Cam Little comes on, made a 24-yarder earlier, 23-yard attempt here. And the block punt that went ahead for only 4 yards. Arkansas instantly cashes in. Could have been much more with more damage. But as it is now, 13-zip Arkansas on top of number 15. Tonight baseball is Yankees and Mets 8 Eastern on ESPN. And that means Scott Matthews, our producer, and Jeff Evers, our director, are going to be at each other's throats. I understand Scotty Matthews has his Mets hat on right now in the truck as he's producing the game. You don't see a lot of that down here in Fayetteville. 13-0 Arkansas. Boy, Hudson Card, this is what playing on the road in the SEC is all about, isn't it, Katie?
Yeah, it is, guys. Through a quarter and a half, Hudson Card has kept to himself on these sidelines. He's very quiet. He's done a good amount of pacing back and forth. But Sark told us that in no way means he is not dialed in. He is the ultimate competitor. Well, they're going to need to see some of that competitiveness here if they want to get back before half.
So 2nd start of his career, Greg, and he's 1 of 3 throwing for 25 yards and trails by 13.
And they got to get him some things to build that confidence. Right now, I mean, he's just looking, and I think they're seeing some ghosts. And Barry Odom, the defensive coordinator, dropping a lot of guys out in coverage. So Steve Sarkisian's got to settle his quarterback down. Run him if you have to. He's a good athlete. Do some zone reads. Get him out on the move, but find something to give him a little bit of confidence and get him feeling good about the plan.
Kid was a wide receiver in high school up until a highly recruited quarterback moved on. He can motor if he needs to. Robinson again met with contact and then went ahead for about 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, but he has been hit at or behind the line of scrimmage 3 times tonight.
And that can't happen against the look that Arkansas is playing. I want you to look when we get over the football. I want you to see how many defenders Arkansas has in the box. The last few snaps, they've only had 5 in the box, which means you got to be able to run the ball with some efficiency. This time, a few more guys creeping in close, but man, they got to find some room in the run game.
Card quickly to the outside, and that is Davis. Juan Davis is a freshman tight end, and they get him a little bit of work. It'll be 3rd and 7. Just a short gain there. Struggled on 3rd down. 0-4.
Watch the pressure from Arkansas. It's a pressure look right now with some of those safeties creeping up. Keep an eye on Catalan. He might trigger a blitz.
Catalan's one of the best defensive backs in all of college football. Had 2 interceptions last week. Play clock running down. 3rd and 8. Card has time. That's a wobbler. It was deflected at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be the 4th 3-and-out for Texas out of 5 drives here tonight.
So right there, that was a great job by Barry Odom adjusting right there. He checked, actually, and you see they were showing pressure, and Catalan was rubbing the top of his helmet, and all of a sudden they dropped into a drop 7 coverage. So they made the check, Texas did. Barry Odom then makes the check, And all of a sudden, the defense is right. That was an excellent job of cat and mouse there by the OC and DC.
Stevens booms this. Fair catch outside the numbers by Bryce Stevens off the Dicker punt. 47-yard punt by Dicker. 6:02 until the half. 13-zip Arkansas. Djokovic Medvedev is the U.S. Open men's finals, and Novak is trying to win the Grand Slam, the first calendar year Grand Slam since Rod Laver in 1969 on the men's side of the U.S. Open. We were talking about the Joker earlier today. We're saying, like, he's just so ridiculously consistent.
He's unbelievable.
It's like watching a robot.
He is. He's unbelievable, man.
KJ Jefferson and the Hogs with a 13-zip lead. And gets it to the outside to Warren, and Warren reaches out to the 30-yard line. So you think about how Arkansas started the game. Offense looked dismal, right? First 2 drives, couple of punts. Last 3 drives, touchdown, 2 field goals, 13 points.
And the quarterback's gotten comfortable. I mean, he's throwing it well. He's running it well.
This will be a first down run from Traylon Smith, who's 5'9", 190, but will run hard between the tackles.
It reminds me of Dexter McCluster a little bit. Remember Dexter McCluster from Ole Miss, man?
Absolutely.
I remember our game plan against him was like, hey, dude, whatever you do, don't let 22 beat you. That's what kind of player Dexter was. And I'm telling you, Traylon Smith is a lot like that.
First down, Jefferson. Look at Jefferson. KJ Jefferson. And he's breaking free inside the 35. Well, you just made the comp of saying Dexter McCluster. How about KJ Jefferson with a little bit of prime Cam Newton back in the day?
Man, he looks a lot like Cam Newton. I'll tell you what, he's that guy unblocked right off the edge. I mean, it's no problem whatsoever. Just calmly shakes him out of his shoes, gets backside. Beautifully done by KJ Jefferson.
AJ Green going nowhere, overshown with the tackle. Katie.
Well, he'll appreciate that Cam Newton comparison, guys. He watches the same Cam Newton hype video. It's 8 minutes long before every single game. Before he comes out onto this field, he tries to channel that swagger that we see Mr. Cam Newton play with as well.
Oh, Cam has a quote-unquote aura about him.
He does.
Did you hear that quote?
I did hear that quote. But it's funny because he runs like Cam, where it doesn't look like he's running very hard, but nobody catches him. He's just big and efficient with those strides.
11 Green as he gets to that left side and fights for a little more. The freshman from Tulsa. He's compact. He's fast. He's got good ball skills. And Jerry Jones is here. Hey, his grandsons are in the game, right? First cousins are playing against each other. He's got John Stephen Jones, backup quarterback for Arkansas. Paxton Anderson's a wide receiver for Texas. So Jerry and Stephen and the family, they are here tonight. Of course, great legacy for the Jones family at Arkansas.
Big third down here from the Texas defense.
Jefferson on 3rd and 4. Wrapped up.
And that was a great job, man, by B.J. Foster. There in the 3rd level, secondary player, man, giving up about 50 pounds to KJ Jefferson. He says, I ain't scared. Goes up there, throws his shoulder into the quarterback and drops him for a loss. Excellent job by the safety on consecutive big 3rd downs. Tipped the ball in the end zone and made the play at the line of scrimmage, ending Arkansas drives.
Cam Little is 2 for 2 tonight, but this is his longest attempt from 44. And with a little help, it goes right in. Cam Little, the true freshman from Tulsa, 3 for 3. And Arkansas probably wishes some of those were 7s, but that scoreboard looks mighty fine all the same for Sam Pittman and the Hogs.
As you see it drifting just a touch. Doink. No problem. You don't have to draw a picture on the scorecard, Joe. Just write it down as a 3 and
that's right.
Call it good.
Everybody's been talking about this game in terms of former Southwest Conference rivals, soon to be SEC rivals. Of course, Oklahoma and Texas announced that they would join the SEC by July 1st, 2025. And then, of course, you get the Big 12 expansion news yesterday. And Commissioner Sankey's actually at the game, and he has stressed time and again. And the quote he gave yesterday is, hey, we look forward to an orderly transition process. We want to be respectful throughout the process. So there's no talk of Texas or Oklahoma. Are they coming over early? That's all stuff of media speculation. Officially, it's, you heard the announcement this summer. You haven't heard anything else.
Let's take a look at tonight's fighting spirit moment, brought to you by Modelo. And how about the spirit of this Arkansas defense, man? They have been flying to the football, dominating the line of scrimmage, oftentimes getting in a very light box. Not a lot of defenders in the box, but they are providing constant pressure. I mean, 3-man rush against 5 blockers, still dropping the young freshman quarterback Hudson Card for the sack. They have been tenacious up front, and at the second level, those linebackers have been outstanding. And to think that they're doing it without one of their best linebackers, Bumper Poole, who returned in the second half because he sat out the first half because of targeting, that's scary for Texas. Got to get something going.
Robinson trying to be that somebody to get something going.
See Poole
There's
there.
Bumper Poole.
Yeah, he'll be back in a couple minutes. Obviously on his toes, fired up to get in there. But, man, have they played well in his absence. Hayden Henry's made a lot of plays. They're excited about his future.
He is the younger brother of the Patriots tight end Hunter Henry, who was a great one here at Arkansas. 2nd and 4. Hudson Card avoids the pressure and then checks down underneath to Johnson. And Roschon Johnson will move the chains for Texas. Just under 2.5 minutes. Texas get on the board here before halftime.
They need to, man. They are just getting pushed around. I mean, just a play ago, you look at their left tackle, Christian Jones, I mean, with a strong arm from Trey Williams, and he's on his backside, man. I mean, they have got to shore up the offensive line because this Razorback defense, they're breathing fire on the front.
It's his first season as a left tackle. Robinson, not much there at all again. That front 7, you said breathing fire. John Ridgeway, he's like a dragon in the middle then. He's been torching things up front.
He's a load. 6'6", 320. He's a big boy, man. He is strong as an ox there in the middle of that defense.
Second and 9. Card downfield, wide open, and it is incomplete. And then coming in trying to make a play on it. That time Catalon was there and Clark tried to come up with the interception, but it's incomplete. Whittington was wide open.
Man, it was a good job by Card coming to the number 2 in his progression, and that's one Whittington's absolutely got to reel in for his quarterback. It was well thrown a little late and allowed Catalon to close. The one the receiver got to make a play on.
Texas 0 for 5 on 3rd downs.
False start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
They're going to make it harder on themselves. 3rd and 9 just became 3rd and 14.
If you're Sark, man, you got to think about timeouts because you're going to be punting it more than likely. You just got to get that clock running so you can force Arkansas to burn a timeout so they can't execute a 2-minute operation.
What a difference a week makes. You see that comparison hard last week to this week. 3rd and 14, 3-man rush. That gives Card time, but he goes underneath and hustling to the ball. They meet up with Whittington. So again, Texas will be punting.
A little surprised that Arkansas is not calling timeout here. I mean, they got time to potentially execute a 2-minute operation. Now, the quarterback, great athlete, not the best thrower in the world, but man, you could steal some points. You got all the momentum, and yet looks like Sam Pittman's going to play conservative here and let the clock wind.
Good punt by Dicker. Let's go to the studio and Matt.
All right, Joe Tess, coming up with the Mercedes EQ halftime report. Iowa continues to dominate Cyhawk. Highlights of that. Plus a big day for the Pac-12. Oregon goes into the shoe and beats Ohio State. Plus no JT Daniels. No problem for Georgia. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Mercedes-Benz EQ halftime.
Look forward to hearing what the guys have to say. And what was your quick takeaway with what Oregon was able to do?
So impressive. I mean, Joe Moorhead, the offensive coordinator for the Oregon Ducks, man, he was 3 or 4 steps ahead of that Ohio State defense the entire day. I mean, Ohio State continued to get outflanked, and the speed that Oregon was able to play with, and their quarterback, man, how about Anthony Brown? I mean, just so composed on the road, time after time throwing accurately to his wide receivers. That was a really impressive showing from the Ducks.
Listen, I've known the kid since he was 18 years old. He was a teammate of my son's at Boston College. He has had a long road. He's had a lot of injuries, but he's healthy now. And he's matured, and he's a smart player who's got real physical gifts, and he showed it today in that upset. Traylon Smith, here's a guy with physical gifts as well. You know, those 2 timeouts are going to sit there, Greg McElroy, but a 16-0 lead is on the board.
You got to feel really good if you're Arkansas with how you've played. Would love to have cashed in some of those short fields into touchdowns, but man, to have this kind of lead in this kind of environment, you got to be feeling great. Texas got to look at it and say, hey man, it's only really a 2-score game. A couple 2-point conversions, you're back in it. You played about as bad as you could in the first half.
How's this home field advantage?
This is a tough one.
How's this?
This place rocks. There's no doubt about it.
A lot of people around here saying Sam Pittman has brought back Arkansas kind of football. Katie.
Thanks, Tess. Coach Pittman, you said you liked the way your defense matched up against Texas's offense. You held them to 78 total yards. What has impressed you about the way they played so far?
I think we had a pretty good idea of what they were going to do, and we have one of the best D coordinators in the country, and I was really proud of the way they played, and they got after him pretty good.
What did you think of KJ and the offense's ability to settle in after those first few series?
Yeah, you know, we scored points. I wish they were 7, but we scored points there, and I thought KJ running the ball helped us a little bit. Got a long half. Last week we were down 3 going in and won by 21, so got a long half, but I'm happy with where we played the first half.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, KJ Jefferson, his quarterback, has run the ball well. He's got 59 yards, and what a great effort by his defensive coordinator. Just like he said, Barry Odom's defense pitching a shutout here at the half. Number 15 is trailing on the road 16-0. Let's go to the halftime report with Matt and the guys.
Guys, thank you. Looking forward to the second half of that one. Mercedes EQ halftime report. We start in Iowa. Cyhawk, side of College game day. Hawkeyes came in having won 5 straight from Iowa State. Second quarter, bad day for Brock Purdy.
Cruse an interception. Tyler Goodson pays it off with this touchdown run. He was kept in check, though, only 2.6 yards a carry.
How about Spencer Petras hit a Charlie Jones 26-yard touchdown?
Petras threw for 106 yards on the day, but he took care of the football, and the defense held Iowa.
Breece Hall scores here, Jess, but he wasn't the same throughout the afternoon.
No, Iowa's front 7 was easily more dominant and more physical than Iowa State's O-line.
And one of our favorite things in football, the old scoop and score.
And this is the beginning of the end of this game. Iowa's defense played outstanding.
Make it 6 straight for Iowa and domination over Iowa State. The annual Cyhawk game, 27-17 the final in this one. The big one earlier in the day, good old classic Rose Bowl matchup between Oregon and Ohio State. No Kayvon Thibodeau for the Ducks. C.J. Stroud here to Garrett Wilson for the touchdown, ties it at 7.
But Oregon's defense wasn't ready. Corner Michael Wright was looking at his wristband. Defensive coordinators got the play called fast.
Big day for C.J. Verdell.
Yeah, he had a big one, but the front was outstanding. The offensive line blocked well. Offensive lineman Poole had no one to block.
That gave Oregon a 14-7 lead. Then Verdell gets loose again.
And Ohio State's defense is having issues in the run game right now. Last week against Minnesota, Mo Ibrahim went for 163. C.J. Verdell goes for 161.
That was his 3rd TD of the day. Then Anthony Brown finds Maliki Matogo for the TD. Oregon 35-21 lead.
It was the run game that set up the play-action pass, big touchdown.
So final chance, Stroud picked off by Verone McKinley III. Ohio State hands Ryan Day his first regular season loss, and Oregon beats the Buckeyes for the first time in 10 tries. With that, welcome in Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway, Matt Berry. Hope you're enjoying your college football Saturday. Joey, I'll start with you. Without Kayvon Thibodeau, they lost some stars defensively. Oregon wasn't given a chance, and here they go in and get the win.
Oregon went to Ohio State. They ran the ball for 269. They had 4 penalties in the entire game. And most importantly, they didn't turn the ball over at all. If you can do those 3 things on the road, you will win a lot of football games. I know that sounds like coach speak, but that is true, and Oregon executed their game plan perfectly.
So could this...
Time presented by Subway. Joe Tessitore, Greg McElroy, Katie George here in Fayetteville, where we've got a game that's got the past, the present, the future, all converging on a Saturday night. And Arkansas leads number 15, 16-zip. First half stats are brought to you by PlayStation. A Johnson touchdown and 3 Cam Little field goals is how we've arrived here. Look at the total yards, 228 to 78.
Just so dominant by this Arkansas defense. I mean, so good for the entire 30 minutes of that first half.
Texas is going to have a chance to answer right away because they will get the ball to start this second half. Greg, Texas has been in Arkansas territory only one time tonight. One time they've crossed the 50-yard line. They only have 3 first downs.
And it's because right now that defensive line for Arkansas is giving them the business. And it's against favorable looks. If you look at it, how many defenders are in the box? There's 5 guys in the box. That's a favorable run look. And yet, look, one of the best running backs in college football can't do anything if he's getting stopped before the line of scrimmage. Same thing here. 5 guys in the box. Doesn't matter. You allow Henry to run through, and then how about the pass rush? My goodness, 3 guys rushing the passer. They get home against Hudson Card. They have got to be able to hold up against these Razorback defensive linemen.
Bijan Robinson going to try to get this second half started. Katie.
Well, guys, one thing we know about Sark, he doesn't panic or change his demeanor whether his team is up or down. He told his offense to settle in. He felt like they were very anxious in the first 2 quarters. He said Hudson was dropping his eyes while receivers were dropping passes. There were some missed blocks as well, so he challenged this group to play calm and clean football.
2nd and 7. They go with an inside screen. And, I mean, this Arkansas front is flying around. Whittington had no chance at all.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful play there by Grant Morgan. One of the most productive tacklers in the SEC, just feeling that tunnel screen on the left, and then obviously rallying quickly and beating the lineman to the spot. Drop the wide receiver for a minimal gain.
6 tackles for loss. 3rd and 8. Yet to convert a 3rd down tonight. Hudson Card goes underneath, short of the line to make to Whittington, and they will be punting yet again.
Right now, Barry Odom's just a couple steps ahead of Steve Sarkisian. That time, just a 3-man rush along the defensive line, dropping 8 into coverage, and you see the frustration with Sark. They got to be more efficient on 1st and 2nd down because 3rd and behind the sticks, way too many defenders in coverage for the Razorbacks to get good yardage.
Their 5th 3 and out. And takes a bounce, and it'll be down. Katie?
Well, Tess, I asked Sam Pittman why he didn't feel the need to dip into the transfer portal to bring in another quarterback at the end of the season. His answer, I'm a loyal person. It's hard to tell KJ you believe in him, you trust him, he's your guy, and then you bring someone else in. Pittman said, I know I'm paid to win football games, but this is my last job. I'm doing it the way I want to do it, and if it costs me my job, then it costs me my job. I'd rather do that than lose my integrity. Pittman kept his word, and KJ Jefferson said that it meant the whole world to him.
And Katie, I love the story he told us about, hey, they were busing up to Missouri last year, and on that ride, they were actually talking to a quarterback in the transfer portal. And then KJ went out and played a great game. Felipe Franks was hurt. So then on the ride home, they called that transfer quarterback and said, don't you worry. We got our guy. We feel good about our guy. KJ Jefferson has now guided his team to his lead against Texas. Texas defense with Brockermeyer getting the job done against Traylon Smith.
KJ's done a great job tonight. Last week, not a great performance. Didn't throw it very accurately. Looked nervous. Looked uncomfortable. Feet didn't have the sense of urgency necessary to play at a really high level. But if there's one thing he has, man, he's got wheels. And in the open field, if you can get him in space, he's a real problem for opposing defenses. So I think the plan's been good tonight, and he's responded to the challenge and has performed really well against a solid Texas defense.
Texas starting cornerback Josh Thompson is down, so we will take a short break. You're with us watching the SEC on ESPN. Remember, we said this is about the past, the rivalry, the present, the now, and the future of when they will be SEC rivals again. You know, this is 17 years to the day of Texas's last visit here to Fayetteville. Of course, they had Vince Young and Cedric Benson back then. Oh, what a play! Intercepted! Longhorns. Foster with the pick. B.J. Foster. The senior comes up with the big play that the Horns need. First turnover of the game.
What a great play from Foster, just reading the quarterback's eyes. And you're going to see him just come right underneath this slant route. KJ Jefferson never sees him, but how about the concentration, reaching out, getting a hand on the football, and tipping it to himself. He has made not one, not two, but three massive plays for the Longhorn defense in the last few drives.
Remember, we said moments ago they've only been in Arkansas territory once before this. Have to take advantage. Bijan Robinson, as he gets it to the 22-yard line, tackled by Bumper Poole, who comes into the game after he had to sit out the first half because of a targeting call last week. Everybody's over there saying, hey, hey, BJ, what a play. One-hander, tap to himself, interception. Robinson now, first down, Horns.
This is a little more like it. A little bit of misdirection, a little bit of counter action right there. They go with a weak side counter. Nice strong run from Bijan Robinson. He's able to split it just a little bit. Not big play there, but man, those are the body blows that start to take their toll.
Johnson gets the call. And Johnson muscles ahead to the 12-yard line. Catalan came up with the tackle. Catalan, who was heavily recruited by Texas. He's one of the best defensive backs in all of college football. Second and 7. Card being chased. Card spinning and then wrapped up at the 10-yard line. With a third down and 5.
Card reeling a little bit as he got to his feet.
Texas offense, just 100 total yards and not a third down tonight. Third and 5 out of the backfield and reaching for the pylon. Johnson, it's going to be first and goal, Longhorns.
How about Hudson Card scanning the field, eyes working all the way from the left, working all the way back to the right. As you see the pylon cam almost stretching out over the top. Excellent job by the quarterback getting through his progression.
Big bodies coming in. I formation on first and goal. Robinson. Straight ahead. And finally, Texas is on the board. And that's the guy who put him in position. B.J. Foster made that great interception. Went up with one hand, tipped the ball, picked it off. And then that offense said, let's go get it. And they did.
Just an excellent job of converting on sudden change by Texas's offense. And man, that third down conversion, the throw to Johnson was just a thing of beauty by the quarterback.
They cut into that lead. K.J. Jefferson's first mistake of the night. Sensational effort from Foster. And then what do you do when you get to the other side? You give it to your big dog. Bijan Robinson with the touchdown.
And college football primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Allstate. Save money like a champion with Allstate. And Chick-fil-A. Try the grilled chicken club sandwich today.
This place is rocking, and it's packed. Arkansas playing a top 15 team at home in a non-conference game. Haven't done that since they lost to USC back in 2006. They've got a 9-point advantage on number 15 Texas, but Texas just found something with the kickoff and then the Robinson touchdown. Sanders on the return, stretching to the 19. Let's go to studio with Matt.
All right, guys, time now for our celebration moment, brought to you by Allstate. Once down 14-0. Parker White, South Carolina, game-winning field goal as time expires. How about Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks? They get the win on the road, 20-17.
Shane Beamer, who's already off to a good start recruiting for South Carolina, feels like he's got some of the big pieces in place to try to rebuild things there in Columbia. See how Jefferson responds. He's going to call a timeout.
This is an important play for Arkansas, too. I mean, this is one that we used to have on our card called a G-bot. Get back on track. Quarterback just made a bad decision. So what does Kendall Browse go back to get K.J. Jefferson feeling good again? A G-bot play. Get back on track. Find something in there he's comfortable with, whether it's an easy completion or a run that he feels good about. But you got to get your quarterback back into the game after the mistake he just made that led to the Longhorn points.
A Week 1 NFL Sunday. Get it started at 10 a.m. Eastern with the Countdown Crew on ESPN, of course, available on the app. You got Patrick Mahomes sitting down with his former teammate Alex Smith, and a look at what could be Aaron Rodgers' last dance in Green Bay. All the breaking news, all the injuries, the previews, everything you need on Countdown starting at 10 a.m. Eastern. Johnson, nothing there. Great pursuit down the line. Ojimo and Overshown coming in on the tackle.
Really like the intensity that the Texas defense is playing with already. Not a ton of snaps on defense so far this half because they've made the most of them, but man, they are flying around. Most notably number 0, Overshown.
2nd and 11. Jefferson, tons of time downfield, wide open, and into the hands of Tyson Morris. Good pass pro by Johnson to give Jefferson that time. Big strike for 44 yards. Right to the line. Tempo. Johnson. Look at this hole. Dominique Johnson had a 5-yard touchdown in the first half, and now running downhill here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, give him a bone because he just saved a life, man. How about the throw? We'll go back a second. He cleans up that pressure off the left-hand side, keeps his quarterback's jersey clean. Now they give it back to him.
Well, now they're giving him work, and his quarterback just gave him a block. And he's inside the 10, and it's 1st and goal, Hogs.
What a sequence there from Dominique Johnson. The outstanding block, the great run on consecutive runs. Man, that was a thing of beauty there from the sophomore tailback. Unbelievable pickup in protection and 2 beautiful carries to secure momentum and to get close to the end zone.
Cascade of boos from the crowd. Their team had a lot of momentum, but right now the concern is Luke Brockermeyer, the middle linebacker, starter for Texas, who's grabbing his right knee. And how about that sequence? You were talking about a get back on track. My man went dagger. He didn't go G-bot. He went dagger.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, that was a thing of beauty. And separation by his wide receiver was excellent. But it was all made possible because of the protection by his running back, man. You got that blindside pressure. And you just had your life saved by your outstanding back. And then you reward him with a couple nice carries there as he got close to the end zone.
And Johnson just went for 12 yards and it is 1st and goal. That ball is cresting the 6-yard line. So as soon as Texas gets right back into the game, they get the interception, they get the touchdown. Don't blink, because the Hogs went right down the field. Traylon Smith comes in at running back.
I'm running the ball here if I'm Arkansas, man. I want to pound it as best I can.
And that's what they'll do. Reaching out for that goal line, coming up just short. The 2nd and goal from the 1.
Run the same exact play, and I do it quickly.
Trying to go up and over and in.
Good surge initially from the Texas Longhorns. Well, T'Vondre Sweat actually won, beat up Ricky Stromberg, the center, but Smith would not be denied going vertical.
They've been in the red zone 4 times. They've scored 4 times. 23-7. Traylon Smith. Great way to answer by Arkansas. Use the hashtag student section sauce to get a committee's attention. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. Let me tell you, we've been here through the years. When they feel like they got something good, and there's an opponent brand name like this on the other side, there are few places like it. We got 76,000 plus standing room only here tonight. Jamison on the return. All right, so Barry Odom, the defensive coordinator for Arkansas, has been lauded tonight by his head coach and by us for what he's done to this Texas offense. He's held them to 110 total yards, 50 passing. Well, he went up against Sark and that great Alabama offense last year. Yeah, Alabama dominated, I get it, but look at the numbers he did against that team.
What does that tell you? I mean, that group offensively was an absolute juggernaut until they came here. And yes, they gave up some plays in special teams, and Devontae Smith went off in special teams and turned the punt to the house. But Barry Odom did his job. He was off the charts good and has been again tonight.
Look at this. I mean, look at that. How good is the SEC at night? Card, play action, setting up, downfield, open is Worthy, and it was to the right of him. Worthy can fly, and Card had a chance, but they couldn't connect.
That's the 2nd time now that Hudson Card on a real deep throw downfield. The ball's drifted just a little to his right. He's got to make that adjustment. The further you throw, the more it's going to drift. As it comes off your hand as a right-handed passer, think about the revolutions. It's rotating clockwise. Well, the momentum of those rotations will take the ball and tail it just a little bit. He's got to throw and aim left to allow that ball to adjust.
Second and 10. Time again, deep again, and incomplete again. Joshua Moore was the intended target.
Same exact thing. The throw just drifting a little to the right on the deep ball. As you can see it, receiver's got a step. It's a perfectly blocked play. And he throws it, but look at where it ends up. It's way right of the wide receiver. He's got to make that adjustment. That's 3 now that he's left on the field because the ball's tailing to his right.
We're 1 of 8 on 3rd down tonight. 1 of 8. 3rd and 10. Card on the run, and that's a nice, accurate throw to Moochie Dixon for a first down. This kid can throw on the run.
Yeah, man, he's a great athlete. That was really nicely done. Threw it low to his wide receiver. Good job stepping up in the pocket. Had plenty of time, only a 3-man rush. Finding the wide out for the conversion.
First down, Texas. Bijan Robinson, patient, and then finds just enough of a crease to make his way to the 40-yard line.
If you're Hudson Card and you're Steve Sarkisian, man, shoot or shoot. Keep getting those guys open downfield. He's going to hit one. He's going to make that adjustment. But also remember who's the bell cow in this operation. It's number 5. Anytime he touches the football, that's a good thing for you offensively. So continue to lean on the run game and then take a chance on play action when that safety creeps up.
And here is the play action, but Card's got to extend the play. That was right on the hands of Whittington. He 3rd down and 4. Isaiah Nichols was bringing the pressure on Hudson Card. Card leaked out to the right, and now he's got to deal with this crowd again as Steve Sarkisian calls this 3rd and 4. And with that noise and with the pressure of a 3rd down, they're going to use a timeout. Monday Night Football comes your way from Vegas. The Ravens are there. 8 Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and the ESPN app. Ravens and Raiders on Monday Night Football. This setting, this place, and they got momentum right away with the early lead. And these fans have been soaking it in. Boy, they went through some rough patches in recent years. But then that guy, the big man, Sam Pittman, came in, settled things down. By the way, not as big as he once was. Coach is looking good.
He's down 50 pounds.
Coach is all about the keto, isn't he?
He is.
He's also about his defense with Barry Odom. They have been top-notch tonight. Can they get a stop here? Or does Hudson Card have the answer on 3rd and 4? He's got time. He's going to tuck, run, and come up a yard short as 320-pound John Ridgway wrestled him down. There is Barry Odom. Wow. He loves working for Coach Pittman.
Sark leaving the offense on the field here. And it seems a little early, I think, to potentially go for it. Maybe go with a hard count, see if you can draw Arkansas off sides.
From his own 43, 4th and 1, Texas is going for it. Robinson, not even close. He was met in the backfield and just wrapped up. Hayden Henry surged in. Grant Morgan was right there too. And the Hogs with a turnover on downs. Barry Odom's defense on fire tonight.
Wow, these two guys unblocked, eyes in the backfield, and they make the play right here. Nothing they can do. Man, you look at Henry, comes in, that crown of the helmet. The crown of the helmet is what initiates the contact. Gotta be careful. Oh my goodness, is that targeting? Of course, it can be initiated from up top.
Let's bring in our rules expert, John Perry.
You know, I'm right there with you. I do think it's targeting. I do think they needed to shut that play down and take a look at it. We're inconsistent with this rule.
And instead we play on. And KJ Jefferson with a quarterback run to the 36-yard line. John Perry says, Greg McElroy says targeting here.
Yeah, I mean, the crown of the helmet is what initiates the contact there from Henry. It's unbelievable play in the backfield. Very fortunate, though, that they didn't stop it and take a peek.
Sanders. And Sanders goes to the left side for a couple of yards. Right about at that line to gain. Jacoby Jones with the tackle. So Texas goes for it on 4th down comes up short. Here's Arkansas. 3rd and very short at the 32-yard line. Sanders again. It will be a first down, Arkansas.
Yeah, and if I'm Kendall Briles the rest of this game, man, I honestly don't know if I put it in the air. I mean, I might run it every single down until Texas can prove to me that they can stop it. It's quarterback run. It's runs to the outside with Traylon Smith. It's runs up inside with Rocket Sanders. And then you get the 240-pound bell cow Johnson, number 20. He'll clean it up as you get close to the goal line, man. I would not take any unnecessary risk. I would just try to pound it and see if this Texas defense can hold in the front 7.
We're going for 6.4 per rush. KJ Jefferson. Tons of time. Goes to the far side, and he'll have a first down to 6'3" Warren Thompson. Transfer from Florida State, an 11-yard reception. Smith cuts back wide open and 9 yards. Time and again this run game of the Razorbacks. For over 200 yards rushing.
Empty. Let's see if they move Overshown out, because if they do, then it's quarterback run all day long.
And there it is. And the big man, KJ Jefferson, will move those chains to a 1st and goal. Steve Sarkisian peeks up at the clock. He said, hey, we're under 4 minutes to go here in the 3rd. And these guys are running down our throats, staring at that scoreboard, hoping this deficit doesn't grow bigger.
I'd stay with it. This is critical for the Texas defense. Absolutely have to get off the field, forcing only 3 points. Massive sequence here. All-out pressure look from Texas here. Let's see if they adjust. Looks like they're going to. Here it comes.
1st and goal. Jefferson gets free, and Jefferson is inside the 5. Ajamo had to wrap him up.
At some point, Pete Kwiatkowski knows, man, they're just going to give me a full dose of trying to run the ball, man. I got to dictate something. So I'm going to bring every single guy I have wearing a white jersey on a blitz or a pressure. Expect another look right here. They try to heat up KJ Jefferson.
8th play of the drive after the turnover and downs that you question as a targeting call that should have been called. Corner of the end zone. There's a lot of contact, but it's incomplete. As Treylon Burks was covered by Anthony Cook. Crowd did not like that.
It was close. Some contact, but I like it. I think it's been physical all day. Pretty well thrown football. I'm okay with the no call there.
Good coverage by Anthony Cook. Haven't had to ask much of Treylon Burks, the preseason first-team All-SEC wide receiver. Johnson is that meaty muscle back on 3rd and goal. And he gets the work here, but he is wrapped up at the line of scrimmage as Ford makes the tackle. Jalen Ford from Frisco, Texas, comes up with the tackle on 3rd down.
Massive for Texas there.
Sure was.
Absolutely massive. 7 might have put this thing out of reach, at least mentally, if nothing else. I know you had an answer when all the momentum was on the Arkansas side.
Been a perfect night for Cam Little. This another short field goal from 22. He's made from 24, 24, 44, and now 22. He's got 4 field goals.
Tess, Greg, this week college football is coming together to recognize the important role of a teacher and their impressive effort to continue to perform their essential duties against the extraordinary backdrop of the ongoing pandemic. On behalf of the College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN, we would like to donate a $1,000 Donors Choose gift card to Quenisha Smith, a special education teacher from Fayetteville High School and wife of Arkansas running back coach Jimmy Smith, for her hard work and commitment to the kids in their classroom. She will be able to use the money for any school resources the student needs. And you got to believe Miss Smith is happy with her husband's work tonight. Over 200 yards rushing on the ground. They're working tonight, boys.
That's a good night for that family, isn't it?
That's awesome, man. And we ran right by Fayetteville High School. That thing's beautiful. I mean, it's a big high school. I looked left. I was like, my goodness, I didn't know there was another college on campus.
I also didn't know there was such an incline to about every street in Fayetteville on our 5-mile jog this morning.
Tonight was literally uphill in every direction. I realized that quickly. I feel bad for the students having to walk uphill to class. It was greatness.
Rivalry renewed. Let's check in with Matt Berry in the studio.
Guys, the big one in the big house. Michigan taking on Washington. Wolverines up 3-0. Blake Corum, one cut, gone. 68 yards for the touchdown. Michigan takes a 10-0 lead, 7.5 left in the second. And what about what Mississippi State is doing to NC State? Will Rogers to Jaden Walley for the touchdown. It is all Pirate, 21-3 in the third.
That's a big night for Mississippi State. That NC State team, that was a team that many people were making a trendy pick. Like, who do you like just behind Clemson? A lot of people said NC State, but here's Mississippi State up big in the second half. That ball is knocked out of the hand of Card, and that is being played as a fumble, and Greg Brooks recovers it for Arkansas. They're going to look at this one, but Greg Brooks did the right thing, said, I'm playing that as a live ball. Is this knocked out of the hand of Hudson Card? Wow. Zach Williams got in there as Hudson Card was bringing up his motion.
It looks like as Hudson Card's bringing his arm back, that's when the ball's dislodged. Here it is. It's a great look at it right here. Arm coming back. There goes the ball. Long before it starts the motion forward, that call is going to stand and be confirmed. What a huge play right there by Williams.
John Perry, pretty clean cut, isn't it?
It is clean cut, but you know what? We dissect this work week in and week out, slow motion, different angles. Let me tell you, at real speed, that is a difficult call. Well done, slow whistle, let the play go through. Great judgment with the fumble.
John, why is that difficult as an official in real time? Explain that to us.
Well, none of these officials start and end with the same player. You're walking through a progression. That referee went from guard to tackle blocks, then went back to the quarterback and had maybe a half a second to take a look at a hand pass fumble.
So the turnover, and Rocket Sanders and the Razorbacks, they are just running wild inside the 10 and into the end zone. How about them Hogs tonight, folks? Texas looked so good last week. Looked so good against a South Louisiana team in a top 25 class. But this Arkansas team is different, isn't it, Greg?
It is, but this is a good run. I mean, they just bend it all the way back. I mean, good flow by Texas. I mean, they're playing hard, trying to pursue. But how about Rocket finding that backdoor cut as Texas over pursues, and there's nobody home. And how about the finish there in the corner of the end zone? Just a beautiful job of him turning, finding green grass, and then this, boom, not being denied until he finds pay dirt. Just a beautiful run for the young man that was playing wide receiver in the spring. Said, man, you're too good with the ball in your hands. We got to put you in the backfield.
Here's what's interesting about Rocket Sanders, because you say, hey, he was playing wide receiver. The guy's 6'2", 225 and was playing wide receiver. So actually, size-wise, he's more the prototype that Sam Pittman and Kendall Browse are looking for. Big, strong, fast. Traylon Smith's great. He's been wonderful. He's 5'9", 190. Rocket Sanders, this freshman, he fits what they want to be. Let's see who comes out at quarterback for Texas as they trail 33-7. You know, it was a heck of a competition in camp between Hudson Card and Casey Thompson. Casey Thompson, who last year was excellent in the bowl game against Colorado, and he will come out to play quarterback. He was 8 of 10 with 4 touchdown passes in the Alamo Bowl. He's from Oklahoma City. And he is a guy that this team really believes in. He's the rah-rah guy. He's loved by his teammates. Sark gave him a fair chance. Said it would come down to who takes care of the ball better. That was Hudson Card, and he gives him a little more upside. But right now, Thompson comes in the game with this big deficit, and he goes to Whittington.
Thompson's an excellent thrower. In that game against Colorado, 8 of 10, 4 touchdowns. How's that for a tradition? I mean, he can really throw the football. Very accurate, perfect for this situation.
Thompson now. This is what he can do on the ground. Now, he did this last week as well. Came in late in the third quarter against Louisiana. They were up by 16 then, not in a big hole. He had 41 yards and a touchdown. Scored on a couple drives that he was in on. Checks down to Robinson. Robinson makes the most of it and then is ridden out of bounds by Fouché, and a flag comes out with that.
After the play, personal foul, right out of bounds. On the defense, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
It did seem late, as you see. Robinson's out of bounds right here, but that's where it happens, and it's tough to tell from there to see exactly where he was relative to the sideline, but I did feel like it was a touch late as Robinson got close.
Thompson, he will tuck, wiggle, and then be taken down by Bumper Poole. Bumper Poole, whose family is all Razorback fans. His little kids used to come to the game dressed in Hogs gear with his sister Maddie. Maddie now works in the recruiting office. So they're all the way in when it comes to helping out this team. Bijan Robinson, that'll be a first down for Texas. Thompson, plenty of time to take a shot, and way beyond Joshua Moore. Last play of the third quarter. A third quarter that had Arkansas take complete control. Smith had the touchdown run. Sanders had the touchdown run. And the Hogs are sitting here unranked against number 15 with a 33-7 lead as we head to the fourth. Football prime time presented by Subway. You're reading that scoreboard correct. 33-7. Number 15 has been punched right in the face tonight. And it's this defense that has been doing their job. In fact, you think about Steve Sarkisian. He's been a great offensive coach. He led one of the great offenses of all time a year ago to a national championship. Grant Morgan is down, linebacker for Arkansas. We'll check on him. But in his previous 82 games as a head coach, he's putting up over 30 points per game when he's at USC and Washington, over 400 yards per game. Tonight, 7 points, 164 yards for Sark's team. Grant Morgan's a big part of the success of this Arkansas defense, so they hope the best for him. Captain Morgan, team captain, has worked very, very hard. Things are much different in Arkansas, aren't they?
Yeah, big time.
And they got a great staff that they've put together, and kids that are now buying in and fitting with the culture of how they go about winning at Arkansas.
I think what's most impressive, though, is just how physical they've been, man. I mean, this has been a game that has been decided in the trenches. You talk to anybody that watches SEC football, it's a line of scrimmage league. And so far tonight, their defensive line has manhandled the Texas offensive line. They've got absolutely nothing going offensively as a result of the dominance from that front seven defensively from the Hogs.
Let's watch what happened to Morgan.
He just got rolled up, man. I hope he's okay. Such a big part of this defense.
Number Casey Thompson, the quarterback for Texas now. 3rd down and 9. Incomplete. He was looking for Cade Brewer. Flag is down. Looks like it's going to be a late hit on Thompson.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 55. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Just way too late there. Obviously by Trey Williams, who's been getting after it all day long, working against Christian Jones, the left tackle. At that time, man, way too late. Gotta keep your wits about you. Can't give free first downs when you're about to almost get off the field.
Casey Thompson, who patiently waited his turn behind Sam Ehlinger and now playing behind Hudson Card. He's in the game trying to rally the horns as he runs ahead inside the 10-yard line. Second and short. Robinson. It'll be 1st and goal, Texas. Casey Thompson, his father is the former Oklahoma star Charles Thompson. Charles Thompson, who led the Sooners to great wins back in the late 80s. That number 1 versus number 2 game against Nebraska, most memorably. 10th play of this drive. Texas trying to spark any sense of hope here. And Thompson helps do that. Casey Thompson comes into the game and scores on the ground.
Let's take a look for tonight's AT&T 5G Skycam. You're going to see Casey Thompson just have an opportunity to catch that seam. Pretty good job also setting up the defender Fouché to the outside, slipping him inside. Excellent work there by the quarterback.
10-play drive capped by Thompson's 5-yard touchdown run. More to come from Fayetteville after this short break. Things happen. Texas is finding that out here tonight. They just scored to make it 33-14. Yeah, the Aggies went on the road up in Denver today. They were struggling with Colorado. They had to pull that out late. Tonight, the story has been the balanced rushing attack of Arkansas.
They just have so many weapons. I mean, you got your quarterback who's built like Cam Newton, runs like him too, and KJ Jefferson. And then you have the smaller Traylon Smith, who's very fast, very speedy. And then how about this? Well, no, can't handle those two. Take care of this one. 240. And Dominique Johnson. Then you got Rocket Sanders, who did a great job of putting the ball on that last drive offensively for the Hogs. This rushing attack gives you so much variation, and they all complement each other beautifully. It's been a really nice blend of speed and size and power throughout the course of this game. Excellent work from Kendall Briles and this entire Arkansas offense.
And saw the big three there, and then Sanders has 36 and a touchdown. Now A.J. Green is in the game, and A.J. Green, he can be productive too. He's another good-looking freshman. You know the ones that, listen, you look at guys like A.J. Green and Rocket Sanders and some of the freshmen they have on the field. We were talking to Arkansas's coaching staff about recruiting. They said, you want to know the quickest way to try to get better? Just get guys that can fly.
Right.
Just put speed on the field.
Absolutely, because you can recruit speed in one recruiting class.
Yes.
Go get a couple guys from the track. Next thing you know, you got guys that can flat out change the game when they get in the open field. And they have plenty of that. What I've been impressed with, though, here in year number 2 under Sam Pittman is the development of the offensive line. Some guys have gained 50 pounds in some cases. They've gotten bigger, they've gotten more physical, and it's showing tonight.
Green again. That is that speed, that burst, that quickness. As A.J. Green is out to midfield. There's just no answer up front for the Texas defense.
They're going to have to find one, too, because there are plenty of teams in the Big 12 that can pound the football as well. Iowa State, of course, didn't look good today, but they can pound you with Breece Hall. We know Oklahoma has been a team that in the past has been very good with the run game. There's plenty of teams that they're going to see throughout their league that can run the ball with similar effectiveness to what Arkansas is doing tonight. Maybe not quite this much power along the front, but they're going to have to find some answers in this first and second level defensively.
19 yards there from Green. He looks to add to it here, but only gets a yard as he crosses midfield. Martin and that Texas front.
When I think Arkansas, though, Tess, don't you just visualize a team that looks like this?
Yes.
Physical, tough, blue collar, does the little things. Sam Pittman is unfurling his plan in year number 2, and it's been a thing of beauty so far here in the last 6 quarters of football.
2nd and 9. Sanders, little wiggle, little burst, and it'll be 3rd and 2.
Well, guys, I've been really impressed with KJ Jefferson's demeanor over here on the sidelines. Yes, he's been talking a great deal to his offensive players, but after every series, whether it's good or bad, he walks through the defensive players and the special teams, and his message has been the same. He keeps saying, stay strong and let's keep rolling. And this is a guy who said he learned how to lead by watching his friend Felipe Franks a year ago. Well, he's all on his own tonight, and his presence has definitely been felt on the sidelines and on the field.
It's amazing to hear the relationship that he has with Felipe Franks. Says, the guy changed my career. He taught me how to be a quarterback at this level. And good for Felipe Franks, by the way, now making the 53-man roster as Matt Ryan's backup in Atlanta as Rocket Sanders continues this running assault by Arkansas. 5 more yards and a first down.
And I think that's something really neat about KJ Jefferson, too. They go to the transfer portal. He starts a couple games 2 years ago in 19. They go to the transfer portal, add Felipe Franks. You know what some guys would have done if they're KJ Jefferson? You just went and got somebody else. You're now dating somebody else. They would have fled. But what he did, no. He said, I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to learn from this guy. I'm going to be a better player as a result of it. And it's really coming into its own tonight. He was not great last week. Full disclosure, not great. Inaccurate, not great decisions. Made a couple plays with his legs. But, man, he's grown by leaps and bounds tonight and has really looked comfortable.
Not much on that right side. Sanders falls ahead to the 35-yard line. Seen that look before.
Can't imagine with how they're running the football. They do anything but continue to do that for the next 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Just run after run after run.
And they do more of it with Green. Give credit to that offensive line. You got big Ricky Stromberg in the center of that offensive line. Look at number 51. SEC coaches voted him #1 first team preseason. Sam Pittman, you know, he's coached some of the best offensive linemen to come through the SEC, and he says he considers Ricky in that group.
Here's what blows my mind. That right there, 310. Because that young man, when we called his game a couple years ago, he was 250 pounds playing against war daddies at 330 and was holding his own. now that he's grown up and grown into his body and gained some needed weight, he's a completely different player, man. He's the anchor there in the middle of the offensive line. He's done a great job tonight.
3rd and 2. A.J. Green. They are plowing him. Kid ran a 10.3 in high school. Just showed that track speed for 30 yards of dynamite here in Fayetteville. You want to know what kind of a night it is for the Arkansas run game. They just went over 300 yards rushing tonight. ...309 yards rushing tonight by Arkansas. A.J. Green with a first and 7 more on the board.
Clemson bounced back nicely. A&M survives, and then Georgia against what was a pretty good UAB team that people don't recognize. A dominant victory, but we all know the big one, Ohio State and Oregon.
Let's talk a little bit about that, because obviously that is a game that screams of college football playoff implications. What do you think now long-term based on that big W by Oregon?
Well, Ohio State's still in a good spot because they're still in a position to win a Power 5 league. They still control their own destiny in a lot of ways. Now, what's interesting is how does this impact Clemson and how does this impact the Pac-12? The Pac-12 hasn't had a playoff representative since 2016. Could this be the year? With what we've seen from UCLA, their dominance against what should be a decent LSU team, and then now what Oregon did, and even Colorado in a losing effort, man, the Pac-12's had a really good start to the year so far.
This is Robinson, Bijan Robinson, with the run for Texas. Here's what I'll say about Ohio State. Iowa with a big win today. They need Iowa to keep doing that and get to the Big Ten championship game undefeated, to have a signature big championship game win. They need Penn State to be good. Correct. Right? They need Michigan to be good.
Yes. They also need all the teams in the ACC to stay where they're at, because if Clemson's schedule strengthens, then Clemson could be in a position to jump them as well.
Thompson, wobbly ball as he threw it on the run to Whittington. And then when you look at the top of the SEC, I mean, you got Alabama and Georgia. If you get a clash of the Titans in the SEC championship game, and they've got goose eggs in the loss column, both those teams are already in.
More than likely. I'd be highly surprised if those two teams wouldn't both get it. Of course, they're 1-2 right now.
A lot of people think about maybe Texas A&M being a big speed bump for Alabama. A&M struggled on the road today, playing Colorado in Denver. Here is Whittington on a crossing route, and he will have it for a first down. Did you get a look at A&M today? What was going on with that game?
Well, you lose your quarterback early. It's a tough road trip. Going to altitude is always tricky. But you lose your quarterback after only 2 attempts, and Haynes King. In goes Zach Calzada, and he looked shaky. The offense just didn't operate with any levels of efficiency. Now, if Haynes King is, for whatever reason, sidelined for an extended period of time, Calzada's a good thrower, and he's got a long way to go after what he showed us today.
Casey Thompson can run the ball. He goes for 9 yards there. I love the way he prepares as a backup quarterback. He said even when Sam was, the man, he would prepare like he's the starter every single week with Casey. Robinson on 2nd and 1, and he can't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Bijan Robinson, the transfer from Alabama, tackled by Zach Williams. Zach Williams, who forced the fumble earlier tonight. And Hudson Card was lining up to pass. 3rd and 2. Down 26 points. 10th time that Arkansas has had a tackle for loss with that last tackle. Thompson, look at the time he's got on 3rd and 2, and he gets it complete as he connects to the 30, trying to just chip into this deficit. They're down by 26. Sark's second game as the head coach. The Horns never trailed by 26 in any game in Tom Herman's 4 seasons when he was the head coach in Austin. Casey Thompson going to glide towards the sticks. Run down by Bumper Poole. Bumper Poole, not a nickname. It was a nickname. His father named him James. They said, I always wanted to have a child named Bumper with the last name Poole. Everybody called him Bumper. So when they were 16, they said, you know what, we're just going to legally change it to Bumper. So that's on the driver's license, folks. Bumper Poole.
I love it, man. I mean, his nickname should be Thumper because that dude brings the heat on some of these hits, man. He has been flying around tonight here in the second half now that he's off of his targeting suspension.
Robinson, good commitment to go ahead. We mentioned the family, the Poole family, how they're all the way in as Razorback fans generationally. There's Bumper and Maddie, and you know they grew up going to games, right? They grew up calling the Hogs and Woo Pig and everything about it. And now he's the star linebacker, and Maddie works in the recruiting office.
That's a big part of Sam Pittman's appeal, too. Got to keep the guys that grow up Razorbacks, keep them in state, keep them as Razorbacks. Can't leave the state.
Thompson scanning, extending to the end zone. He goes too far out of bounds.
I think that's one thing about Arkansas. Obviously, you're going to have 8 to 10 guys a year that can play at a really high level of football. Not a tremendously densely populated state, but the guys that are here, you have to have them. You have to get them. They can't go elsewhere. Even though there will be some people that try to get in here and get some guys, they can't. You got to put a fence up around your own state. Then you got to get to Dallas and get out throughout the rest of the Southeast. I think Pittman's the man to do it with some of his relationships that he's cultivated over the years.
Thompson, and to the goal line, and in is Moochie Dixon. So Casey Thompson has come in, and he has been able to move the Texas offense. A couple of touchdown drives, and Moochie Dixon with a 16-yard touchdown catch. Ooh, boy, see that helmet coming in?
Field is a touchdown. Play is under review.
Yeah, they're gonna.
Man, oh man,
they're gonna look at that, and that looked like if there's ever been a textbook targeting right there, that looked like it was it.
I mean, that is pure crown of the helmet, isn't it?
Crown of the helmet.
What do you see, John Perry?
I'm looking at the same thing you are. Again, lower lead. It's the posture we want out of the game. Now they'll look at the score to make sure he's in, and they can also take a look at this targeting. So there's 2 items here.
Jackson Woodard was flying in late.
It's really close. That left knee, is it down prior to him crossing the plane? There's the D down. There's the ball at that point. Might be just a touch short.
So they got a lot to look at on this replay.
There's the knee. Where's the ball at that point? Appears as though it's just a little bit short. Then on top of it, you can obviously create that targeting call, as the crown of the helmet is what initiated the contact. I've seen a lot of those the last couple weeks where guys are leading with the crown of the helmet, man. Have to get that out of football. It's dangerous not just for the ball carrier, but also for the defender to fly in and not see what he's hitting.
This crowd is partying deep into the night here.
After reviewing the play, when the runner's knee was down, the ball was short of the goal line. Ball be placed at the half-yard line. It'll be first down. Please put the clock at 4 minutes, 59 seconds. 4-5-9.
I mean, they're roaring over everything, even when they got the game well in control. Replays that take it to the 1-inch line.
Really surprised no reference to the targeting. Really am. I thought that was
seemed very obvious.
Pretty obvious example of plays in which guys were thrown out a week ago.
5'9", 183. Robinson's the running back here on 1st and goal. And he'll get the work. And he won't even be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. $74,531 is the attendance. That is a new record. They were so psyched for this game, feeling their team is coming back, that this program is on the rise, taking on a long-time rival, a renewed rivalry, and a future conference rivalry. Robinson again, and Robinson again is driven back. Bumper, Poole, and the rest of them wrestling him down the line. It'll be 3rd and goal.
They get a stop on the next 2 downs. The roof might come off this place. Oh, they are ready to burst.
That has been for days in town. Since we arrived in town, everywhere you go, you see Beat Texas. There are generations upon generations who understand what the rivalry was. So much of this is rooted in the past. The present is very exciting because of where Arkansas feels like they're headed. And the future is going to be amazing as conference foes. 3rd and goal. No! Again! They can't get enough of it. You're playing the horns in this town. They want to do it time and again. Somebody said to me, listen, I've been here a long time. I've been in Texas a long time as well. Been around both programs. These fans, they hate Texas more than they like themselves. And they're still roaring up by 26 with under 3 minutes to play for a 4th and goal stop. Casey Thompson, sprint right, looking for anything, trying to turn the corner, and he reaches across and gets in on 4th and goal. Thompson's playing with some fire since he's come in.
That was a great effort there. I mean, there was a couple of Razorback defenders that were all over him, and that was an example of a young man getting his opportunity after losing a hard-fought quarterback battle, saying, I will not be denied. It looks like he does, in fact, cross the plane. What an effort there from the quarterback.
So Hudson Card was named the starting quarterback the Monday of week 1 after a very tough competition with Casey Thompson. Card's the one who has the arm talent, who won over the team with the way he played in August, that perhaps has more upside, isn't the biggest vocal leader, more in the phase of establishing himself as a young quarterback. Thompson's the rah-rah guy. Thompson's the guy who wants to give it his all and can run the ball and has been around, but he came up just short. But Sark said right from the start, I'm going to play both guys. Thompson's going to get his playing time. He did so week 1. He's done so week 2. So how do you move forward here with Card and Thompson? We'll talk about that when we come back after this break.
This is so crispy, juicy, and tender, you might even call it deluxe. Okay, now you can definitely call it deluxe. McDonald's Deluxe Crispy Chicken Sandwich. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Rated RP2M.
PlayStation.
Tell your dreams to me.
Ready to break free? It's time to get away to a place where we can finally be free.
I've got to break free.
Plan your future getaway with Norwegian. Sail safe. Feel free.
Matt, I think I got my fantasy nights mixed up. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You sure?
Yeah.
Snickers satisfies.
A lion! Ah, yes, the king of the jungle.